Good evening, I'm your host Camelia and you're watching KiniNews. Dr Mahathir Mohamad has joined the list of names who allegedly received money from Ultra Kirana. But he's not the only new name to surface.
The corruption trial of former Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi took a surprise twist today. During the trial, a witness claimed former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad received 2.6 million ringgit for political funding purposes through his nephew Rahmat Abu Bakar. According to reports from Malay Mail Online and Berita Harian, UKSB Administrative Manager David Tan Siong Sun told the High Court that Mahathir was suggested as an indirect recipient of financial contributions given by Ultra Kirana Sdn Bhd. UKSB is a local company that has been implicated in the foreign visa system contract awards. Tan told the court that the entries he made on cash payments made by UKSB to various politicians, government staff, and Ahmad Zahid himself were for bookkeeping purposes. The entry for Rahmat was made under the codename Kedahan, said Tan.
More names have surfaced in the trial against Zahid Hamidi. So far, Chuan and Shahril Hamdan have denied the allegation.
More politicians are being implicated by the testimony of a key prosecution witness in the corruption trial of UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. Former Ultra Kirana Sdn Bhd Administrative Manager David Tan Siong told the Shah Alam High Court that UMNO Information Chief Shahril Hamdan and two former MC leaders were among those who had received political funding from the company. According to media reports, Tan testified during cross-examination by Zahid's defence counsel that Shahril had received a total of 1.16 million ringgit. Shahril was allegedly referred to as Aspat in the ledger book. According to the Malay Mail, Tan also testified that former MCA leaders Chan Kong Choi and Chuan were recipients of such funding. The report stated that Chan received a total of over 7.8 million ringgit, while Ong received a total of 922,000 ringgit. Tan said Shahril was allegedly paid for being a close ally to Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin. UKSB is a company which was awarded the foreign visa system contract, a subject matter being scrutinised in the trial.
Opposition MPs are not happy that the Speaker has yet to decide whether UMNO's Tajuddin should be punished for allegedly using a vulgar word in Dewan Rakyat.
Dewan Rakyat Deputy Speaker Rashid Hasnun needs more time to decide whether to penalise Pasir Salah MP Tajuddin Abdul Rahman over remarks made in the House last week. He confirmed that he had received Batu Kawan MP Kasturi Patu's letter demanding swift action to be taken against Tajuddin for his allegedly sexist behaviour.
Dan saya pun menerima surat itu kerana betul meminta untuk saya mengendalikannya. Jadi saya baru terima surat tersebut dan sedang dalam proses sebahagian daripada saksi pun telah pun sebahagian daripada telah pun saya aturkan pertemuan dengan mereka dan saya akan buat rumusan keseluruhannya dan saya akan berikan jawapannya dalam minggu ini, selawatnya mungkin besok untuk saya buat keputusan.
Rashid said this in response to pleas by opposition lawmakers urging disciplinary action against Tajuddin for allegedly saying the P word, a Malay swear word, in the lower house last Wednesday. Kasturi was one of several opposition MPs who felt Tajuddin used an inappropriate remark in the lower house.
Dan ada 9 saksi ahli-ahli parlimen yang telah mendengar dan melihat beliau melakukan perkara terkutuk tersebut. Soalnya di perkara ini bukan sekadar sekali sahaja berlaku. Beliau dengan izin adalah seorang repeat offender.
She said in the Dewan Rakyat today she was disheartened by the Deputy Speaker's decision last week to only send out a warning against Tajuddin.
Meanwhile, back to the UKSB ledger, the MACC will call all the names mentioned in it to probe whether wrongdoing has been committed.
The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, will summon all individuals who were named in the controversial secret ledger of Ultra Kirana Sdn Bhd. This was revealed by Minister in charge of Parliament and Law, Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, in a parliamentary reply. He said the probe by the MACC will determine if the grant or cash handout is corruption. His reply was in response to a question from Kota Melaka MP Khoo Poi Tiong. Khoo asked why the MACC was not probing those mentioned in the Kirana ledger. Those mentioned include former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin, Housing and Local Government Minister Riza American, Naina American, Senior Defence Minister Hishamuddin Hussein, Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin, former Sabah Chief Minister Shafi Abdal, and former Foreign Minister Anifa Aman. These prominent figures were implicated when witnesses testified during the graft trial of UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi involving the foreign visa system in the High Court in Shah Alam, Selangor in May. The secret ledger of Ultra Kirana Sdn Bhd, UKSB, which contained codenames and details of alleged payments of kickbacks made by the company to several individuals between 2014 and 2018, was submitted in court as evidence. While the MACC has said it will open investigation papers into this matter after the testimony, questions have been raised as to why the agency did not do so earlier.
DAP has had a firm grip on Penang. However, UMNO's number 2 is feeling optimistic that BN may have what it takes to regain control of the state in GE15.
It is not impossible for BN to defeat DAP in Penang in the upcoming general election. This is according to UMNO Deputy President Muhammad Hassan. He explained that this is because BN managed to wrest some of DAP's strongholds from them in the previous Malacca and Johor state polls. He said while it is not easy to unseat DAP as the ruling government in Penang, it is not impossible. According to The Star Online, he was quoted as saying that what is important now is to put our house in order to face the next general election that could happen anytime soon. He said this after attending the launch of Penang BN's election machinery at the Perda Convention Center in Kubang Menerong, Tasik Galugor. He claimed that Pakatan Harapan lost a number of its seats to BN in the Malacca and Johor state elections because voters realized they were deceived. DAP only won 4 out of the 8 seats they contested in the Malacca state election. DAP also lost the constituencies of Yongpeng, Bekok, Paloh, and Pekan Nanas in the Johor polls. Meanwhile, he said BN will send a report to Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob in August on the most suitable time to hold the general election.
One of the conditions set for Linus by the Harapan government was it to move its cracking and leaching facility out of the country. However, the company has filed an application to the current government to review those conditions.
The government has received an application from Australian mining company Linus to review key conditions in their operating licence. This was confirmed by Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Dr Adham Baba. The conditions set by the Pakatan Harapan government were to move its cracking and leaching facility, which produces radioactive water leach purification residue, outside Malaysia before July 2023. Adham said his ministry, through the Atomic Energy Licensing Board, has received Linus' application and is still in the evaluation process. The minister said this in response to a question from Bentong MP Wong Tak, who asked Adham to state whether Linus had applied to maintain their cracking and leaching facility in Malaysia, as well as the status of the company's application. On May 18th, Malaysia Kini reported that Linus allegedly asked the government to waive important conditions in its operating licence. At the time, the AELB told Malaysia Kini that it had not received any application from Linus to renew its licence. This came after a source revealed that Linus made the request to Adham before Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Linus gave several reasons for the removal of the condition, namely the loss of highly skilled workers and economic loss.
The organisers of the Turin protest say they will continue to fight, though they have been called for questioning by the police.
Police have summoned 11 people for questioning at the Dangwangi District Police Headquarters today. This is in connection with the Turin protests in Kuala Lumpur last Saturday. Those summoned include PKR Youth Chief Adam Adli Abdul Halim, Amanah Youth Deputy Chief Abbas Azmi, and Pejuang Women's Youth Chief Nurul Ashikin Mabahui for the July 23rd demonstration outside of the Sogo shopping complex in protest of the recent price hike of goods. Speaking to the media today, Adam highlighted how this was not the first time the police have called them in over such a protest. When asked what the next step will be if the government penalizes them, Adam said they will not allow the government to silence them. He said the more pressure they receive, the more they will fight back. PKR youth representatives were previously called in for questioning on July 24 over the same matter.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you would like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.